Today's Tips du Jour mailbag question comes to us from New Mexico. Robert, your tools look very sharp in your videos. How often do you sharpen them? Matt in New Mexico. Matt, that's a very good question, and here's my general rule in my shop. When students come to study with me, I sharpen my tools every other student. In other words, about every 2 guitars. Occasionally I'll go ahead and sharpen in between that time frame. For example, when it comes time to carve the neck or use the spoke shave on the neck, sometimes I'll tune up the edge just a little bit on a strop or something. And it usually lasts me about every 2 guitars. Now, of course, your results may vary. It depends on how you use the tool. Also depends on how you sharpen that tool. Now, the way I sharpen my tools is the way that I show in my online sharpening course. I like to use whetstones. I make sure that the back is flat on the chisel or on the plane blade before I even go to the primary or the secondary bevel. When I get over to the primary and secondary bevel, I like to use a honing guide. That way I make sure that I've dialed that angle in perfectly, and that makes it much easier the next time I go to sharpen that tool. Another very important thing to remember as you're working is to make sure that your stones are flat. So flatten them before you start each tool. Also turn them around periodically, so make sure you keep them as even as possible during the sharpening process. Something else that I do as general maintenance between sharpening or when I get done sharpening is I put a light coat of my O'Brien Guitars Luthier wax on the tool. This helps prevent against moisture, which can cause rust and then therefore will ruin your tool. So I like to put a light coat of wax on there to help maintain the tool. Matt, I also get the question quite a lot about how often I do shop maintenance on my other tools, my larger power tools. Well, I change the belts and the blades as needed, but I make it a general rule that at least once a year, one time a year, I go through some major maintenance on my tools. I take them apart, I lube them, I sharpen all of the blades, I do all the setups again to make sure everything is fine working order for the coming year. So Matt, as you can see, it's very important to work sharp, not only with your hand tools but also the power tools. Keep everything in nice working order. That way not only will you work safer, but you'll work more efficiently.